If you're thinking about buying a home in St. Petersburg, Florida, there's a new property tax proposal that Florida voters are going to be deciding on in November 2026, and it could potentially reduce property taxes for many homeowners by thousands of dollars per year. But before you get too excited, there are a few important details that relocation buyers especially need to understand, including a 5-year residency rule that could affect some people moving here from out of state. In this video, I'm gonna break down exactly what is being proposed, show you a real Pinellas County example, and help you understand whether this should actually impact your decision to buy here. If you're new here, I'm Alexi, your St. Pete Clearwater Realtor. If you're thinking about relocating here, there's a link below where you can book a free one-on-one call with me like many other viewers do every week. And for any French speakers watching, je parle français aussi. Let's begin. Let's start with what is being proposed. Florida voters will be asked to approve a change during the November 2026 midterm elections that would significantly increase what we call the Homestead exemption on our property taxes. So, quick mini crash course on what the Homestead exemption is. Just think of it as a discount you get on your property taxes if your home is your primary residence. So property taxes are calculated based on your home's assessed value. So let's say your home has an assessed value of $600,000. Instead of taxing you on that full amount with this exemption, the government first removes a portion of that value, then calculates your taxes based on that smaller value, which acts as a discount on your tax bill. So the bigger the exemption, the more your assessed value is going to be discounted and the lower your tax bill is going to be. And this proposal that we're talking about is asking if voters want to increase that discount. So under the current system, homeowners who qualify for Homestead receive roughly a $51,000 exemption or discount on their assessed value. And under this new proposal, that would increase to $150,000 in 2027, then $250,000 in 2028, and then would increase yearly at the pace of inflation. So as you can see, it is a pretty significant increase, which would first 3x, then 5x the discount that homeowners would get. And at this point, you're probably thinking, okay, what does that actually mean for me? Let's take a look at some real numbers and use an example of a home with an assessed value of $700,000 in St. Pete. Under today's rules, your estimated property tax bill would be around $13,000, and if the proposed $150K exemption were in place, that same bill would drop to approximately $11,700, which gives you an approximate savings of $1,300 a year. If the exemption then increases to $250K, your tax bill falls to roughly $10,300, and you would get a nice savings of $2,700 a year, which if you compound that over a few years, starts becoming pretty significant. After 5 years, that's an extra $13,500 in your pocket that you can use to replace a roof, an air conditioning system, or any other big ticket item that you need to account for in home ownership. And on that note, if you'd like help putting together realistic numbers for your specific situation and figuring out what your true monthly cost would be after purchase, there's a link below to schedule a free one-on-one call with me. I speak with relocation buyers every week to help them get a clear understanding of what their true cost looks like after factoring in things like taxes, insurance, flood exposure, HOA fees. So if you'd like that, click the link in the description or scan that QR code. Now that we understand what the proposal does and what the potential savings could look like, let's get to the question you probably care about most. Should this influence my decision to buy in the St. Pete Clearwater area? Most likely the answer to that is yes, but it's gonna depend on your timeline and how long you plan on owning here. If you're buying in the next, say, 3 to 12 months, I wouldn't make a purchase decision based solely on this proposal. First off, voters still need to approve it. Second, it doesn't take effect immediately. And third, details can evolve over time. So if you're trying to decide whether to move to Florida next year, I wouldn't put your life on hold waiting for this. Also, to put things into perspective, when I'm helping people relocate to St. Pete or Clearwater on our one-on-one calls, property taxes usually aren't the first thing that we talk about. What's more important are your lifestyle goals, what neighborhoods are gonna be the best fit for you, and knowing what your true ownership costs are gonna be. Taxes are just a part of that conversation, not the main focus. So again, I wouldn't make your decision solely based on that. And then there's a really important detail you'll want to understand about the proposal that most clickbait headlines don't mention, which is that if you're not a permanent Florida resident by December 31st, 2026, you'll have to wait 5 years before you receive the full exemption. So if you move here in 2027 or later, for the first 5 years of your residency, you'll benefit from the homestead exemption of about $50,000 that's in place today, but you'll have to wait an additional 5 years before that $150K and $250K kicks in. So make sure you factor that into your plans. Lastly, if you're planning to own long-term, that's where I think this proposal becomes more relevant to you, because as we saw in our real numbers example, after 5, 10, 20 years, the potential tax savings become pretty significant, especially when you combine them with all the other friendly tax laws in Florida. So should this affect your decision to buy in the St. Pete Clearwater area, I wouldn't make a relocation decision based solely on this proposal, but I would absolutely include it as part of the bigger picture. Here's what I'd take away from today's video. Number one, the proposal could reduce property taxes significantly for many Florida homeowners. Number two, the 5-year residency rule is an important detail for future residents. And number three, buyers should always focus on total ownership costs, not just this change in property taxes. If you're trying to figure out what your real monthly cost would look like here, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to help you build a realistic plan before making the move. There's a link below to get in touch with me, or you can scan that QR code. And if you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.